So you may not know this, but there is definitely scammers that try to take advantage of landlords and tenants. So I guess this is a good video for if you're a landlord or if you're a tenant. So how do they scam people? Using rentals, right? This is like a rental example. What they do is, let's say you throw your rental up on Zillow for rent, which is fine, right? A lot of people do that. And what these guys do, they go into Zillow, copy your exact ad, copy your pictures, and with the address and everything, and they throw that ad up on Craigslist. Most of the time, it's always on Craigslist. And they never put the rent at what it's supposed to be, right? So let's say, I'll tell you a prime example because it's happened to me. I'll list the property in Royal Oak for rent at $2,000. These guys will list the property on Craigslist for like $600, right? And obviously without my information on it, right? With their information so they can talk to the people. And then what they do is once they get your information, well, you reach out to them like, hey, I want to rent this property out. And what they'll say is you can't actually see the property until you submit an application with an application fee, which is usually like $100. So they're only scamming you for like $100, which that's still your hard-earned money and no one should get scammed. So it's a scam for tenants because if you're looking for a place and you fall for this, you would lose $100, and the landlord is pretty much making money off your property. They're basically making you look bad because they're still using your address and your actual house. And another way the way they actually do it is they always go in like lower socioeconomic areas and post these properties, right? So they posted mine, for example, they posted in Flint, right? So that $600 is a common rental rate in Flint. So a lot of people fall for it, and then usually they're like, yeah, this is kind of too good to be true. They go on Zillow and they type it in and they're like, oh damn, this place is $2,000, not 600. And they figure it out, right? But it'll happen to anyone if you ever throw anything up on Zillow. People are always trying to scam people because a lot of people are pieces of shit. But how you can tell it's broken English, if you call them, it's terrible, like talking on the phone with them. And I know this because I always call them and I like mess around with them. I get them all excited that I'm going to send them their money. It's just, anyway. So their texts are terrible, really, really terrible. And they always ask for application fee, right? Then you can see the property. Only if you paste that application fee of $100, $50, whatever the amount is, it doesn't matter. Only then you can see the property, right? And they also claim that if you get declined, then you'll just get the $100 reimbursed, right? The way a property manager, anyone in real estate, no one will put that on the front line. And if they do, if you do have to apply before you see the place, it's probably not some dude with broken English or whatever. For me, I never run my stuff like that. I don't make people apply for it. Mostly like on the single family stuff, there's no point in it, right? I pre-screen tenants, and if they meet the pre-screen process, then they can look at the property, right? So that should be like the number one, I guess, red flag, that if you see someplace asking for $100 application fee, that's refundable to only see the place, and they don't even care about that. That's the hilarious thing to me. They don't care. The dude didn't care about credit, income. He didn't care about nothing but that $100 application fee, right? So how to avoid this? From a landlord standpoint, you really can't, right? You can post your stuff on MLS. Most of them aren't sophisticated enough to know what that is, but then you're paying an agent fee and a commission. Easiest way to do it, list your property for rent on Zillow, wherever you list it, if that's what you use, for example. And then the next day, just do like a Tempest search for your state with Tempest search of Craigslist. So that's a way you can search Craigslist widely and see if anyone tried to do that with your property. If you don't care, someone will end up reaching out to you and be like, hey, and let you know. It's happened to multiple properties that I've had, and it's just whatever. It's just something you got to deal with. And from a tenant standpoint, always look at reputable websites. So if you find a place that's too good to be true, like a $2,000 rental in Royal Oak for $600, well, that's probably too good to be true and not gonna happen, right? If I would always look at Zillow, right? You can still find stuff on Craigslist, but to me, I'd rather use somewhere like Zillow or Realtor. All that stuff kind of all that stuff comes kind of from the same place. It kind of gets distributed by Zillow, but that's what I would do if you're a tenant looking for a place, or just use a realtor, right? A lot of places, even though I hate paying realtor commissions when filling a unit, a lot of times that I've had really great tenants that have stayed for a long time, paid the premium, have been super qualified people that I had to pay $1,000, right? They usually charge half month's commission for the first month. So on a $2,000 place, you give them $1,000. But you have a tenant for 3, 4, 5 years paying $2,000 a month. That's an awesome tenant that has great credit, that has just everything's great. So you really can't beat that. But that's kind of, I want to make this video because I remembered it's happened to me before, but it actually happened to me over the weekend, and I just remembered and I wanted to share with you. So let me know if you have any questions, and what kind of scams have you figured out and messed with the people trying to scam other people.